12. Minnie, Helen, and the cafeteria staff were busy preparing breakfast. The kitchen was filled with so much steam that Minnie had to wipe the lenses of her glasses with a piece of silky cloth every few minutes. She and Helen poured pickled vegetables from a bag into large wooden bowls lined up on the table. "Have I told you about my trip back to America in 1925? Minnie asked. "No, what is it like?" Helen looked up, her eyes glittering with interest. "Now here's the story." It was a visit she would never forget. Her starry-eyed nieces and nephews were mesmerized by her Chinese stories every night, and her family was amazed when she treated them with such Chinese delicacies as shark fins, bird nests, whatnot, which she had thoughtfully brought home after a prolonged, tempestuous voyage across the Pacific. When she finally presented a plate of pea dun, the specially preserved eggs with the blackish yolks and greenish whites, an exotic pungent smell, everybody at the table was taken aback with wide open eyes. "What is it, Auntie?" Emma, her favorite niece, asked. "It is the 1,000-year-old eggs," Minnie teased. That was the dish's English name after all. "Ew!" Emma exclaimed, covering her mouth, and everybody burst out laughing. "I would have laughed too," enthused Helen. "It's not one of my favorite dishes either." As expected, Minnie concluded, picking up another bag of pickled vegetables. "I was the only one who relished the 1,000-year-old egg dish. Nobody else dared even touch it." A male cook had finished transporting steamy congee from a huge wok into wooden buckets with a big gold ladle. They were ready to deliver breakfast to various buildings where refugees were staying. When she saw Helen also grabbing a basket filled with steamed bread and pickled vegetables, Minnie was concerned. "You're sure you can handle that?" "Don't you worry about me, Miss Hua. I still remember that basketball game. You beat us really bad." As the male cook stood up with 2 big buckets of steamy congee dangling from a carrying pole on his shoulder, Minnie's eyes fell on the thin ropes connecting the buckets and the bowl. "Can you imagine the embassy people coming by and giving me that rope?" "What for?" Helen had a surprised look on her face. "In case I decide to leave after all the city gates were closed. Miss Hua, alias Professor Minnie Vautrin, acting dean of Ningning College, scaling the walls of Nanking under a moonless sky." They both burst out laughing. On their way back after delivering breakfast, Minnie, Helen, and the cook followed the little path to South Hill. From there, they could see the sky over Purple Mountain, still shrouded in smoke. For too many weeks, they had not seen the mountain's majestic beauty. They saw a young girl dressed in boy's clothes strolling slowly under the trees and gazing intently into the branches. Upon hearing their steps, the girl turned around. "Good morning, Miss Hua," the girl bowed. "Hi, Helen." Helen took Eva's hand in a warm, sisterly manner. "Good morning, Eva," Minnie replied. "Are you looking for something?" "Yes," Eva said shyly. "What is it?" "Birds." "Oh," Minnie thought, "I've forgotten about the birds. The azure-winged magpie, the spot-necked dove, the ring-necked pheasant, and the little blue kingfisher. A feathered jewel of a bird which visits the campus occasionally in search of small fish. Even in winter, Ningning has been the favorite destination for many birds, the fan-tailed warblers, streak-eyed wagtails, gray starlings, and Bohemian waxwings. They must have all gone in search of quieter, more hospitable habitats now. Who would blame them?" "Have you found any?" Minnie asked curiously. "No," Eva shook her head. "I remember seeing lots of birds, all kinds on campus, even in winter. Yes, I miss them too." "Helen," Eva continued, "remember Ningning's grandpa has a skylark Oh, you should listen to him singing. It gives you a kind of a feeling. I don't know how to put it. A kind of a joy, I suppose. Eva's eyes sparkled with rapture as she talked. Then she grew thoughtful. Miss Hua, Eva turned to her hesitantly. Do you think it's sinful of me to be looking for something to give me joy? Minnie was surprised by the question. What on earth put that thought in your head? Well, with the war going on, Eva faltered. Minnie thought for a moment and said, Remember the Noah's Ark story you read in the Bible class? Yes, Miss Ling taught us that. Why do you think God instructed Noah to place a pair of every kind of animal, pigs, dogs, chickens, sheep, and birds, in the ark? So that they will not be destroyed in the flood? Yes, and so that God's children would not live in a boring, lonely world, so that there would be joy in the world, right? I see, Eva murmured. And do you remember what Noah did to find out whether the flood had finally receded? Interjected Helen. He sent out a raven and a dove, and only the dove came back with an olive branch in its beak. Eva sounded more confident this time. Exactly, exclaimed Minnie. The girl has taken Bible class too hard. I see what you mean. A smile brightened up Eva's eyes again. You need lots of luck to find any birds on campus now, though, said Helen, her arms still round Eva's shoulders. That's true, said Minnie warmly. But remember that the birds will come back sooner or later. Trust me on this. Eva bowed again as they turned to leave. What a girl, Helen said at last once they were on their way again. When I found her 3 years ago, her old blind grandma wouldn't let her come to our homecraft school, no matter what. The old woman actually believed that Eva had brought the family some real bad luck. Minnie only shook her head. As they got closer to the quad, the center of the college, they saw a big one, a groundskeeper, running towards them. What is it? Minnie asked. The Japanese! Some Japanese soldiers are on West Hill. Minnie suddenly felt goosebumps spreading over her body. She labored to breathe. How did they get in? She asked. Nobody knows. They must have scaled the walls. Scaled the walls. She gave Helen an ashen look. They hurried in the direction of West Hill.